Hello once again. This is Cliff McWilliams with Corporatist Nation, because that's what we got. I want to talk a little bit about all the conversation going on especially MSNBC, concerning the harm that might be done to down-ticket races if Bernie Sanders is the Democratic nominee. Now, we remember back in 2008 that Barack Obama had all three branches of government in his control when he was elected. But what did we hear? Well, first, we heard about the promises from Barack Obama regarding healthcare reform. But what was it really? Well, the sleight of hand, health insurance reform. Health insurance reform. Did you ever hear the word insurance come out of Barack Obama's mouth? I know I didn't. So, what happens when he wins? All of a sudden, we have to have bipartisanship. For crying out loud, bipartisanship. So, do the Republicans ever talk about bipartisanship when they control, like, all the levers of government? In my lifetime, I haven't heard that. And I'm sure you haven't either. So we're supposed to basically secure the gains for those in control, corporate America, the top echelon, when we get into office and just maintain the status quo. The new status quo. New status quo we have this time is, well, $1 trillion tax cuts. Do you think that wealthy Democrats are enjoying those big tax cuts they're getting? That is socialism for the rich. And the last thing that the people in charge want, and their mouthpieces, the people paid, $7 million a year to sit in front of the TV cameras and tell us what we need to think at MSNBC, CNN for the most part, and we can't forget NPR, National Propaganda Radio. So you need to think for yourself when you go to the polls, especially coming up in South Carolina. Are things really that great for you as far as healthcare goes? Even if you're an older person, we have some of our Democratic candidates, Joe Biden for one, who has spoken about making cuts to Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. The videos are on YouTube. All you have to do is take a look. And, of course, Trump. Got to pay for those tax cuts somehow for the rich, right? And maybe you get $10 more in your paycheck, but this is all out of line when we're talking real socialism for millionaires and billionaires like Trump, Bloomberg, same thing. These people really, they've benefited greatly from socialism. That's why the best investment that you can ever make is buying a politician. I often talk about when I was running for Congress and a lobbyist for the pharmaceutical industry said to me, Cliff, if you're willing to play ball with the pharmaceutical industry, we'll get you all the contributions you need. That really tells the tale. I didn't take that offer, but most of the people whose names you know, they've taken that offer. I really have a problem with Jim Clyburn going on the record today talking about worrying about down-ticket races. I'm not so worried about down-ticket races. If there's more people voting for Bernie Sanders than are voting for Donald Trump, those down-ticket races, they will take care of themselves, because we have a new cohort of voters coming into play when we're talking about Bernie Sanders. People who haven't voted in the past before. They don't know what they're, quote, supposed to do. So let's give it a chance. Remember, Bernie Sanders, people like Bernie Sanders only come along like once in a lifetime. Remember FDR, what he did for America? And what people like the Fords and DuPonts were trying to do to him? You might want to look up a guy on Google by the name of Smedley Butler. Smedley Butler. Look him up. And then you'll have an understanding of the same thing that went on way back when in the 1930s. And FDR overcame that, and Bernie Sanders will overcome, with our help, all that is arrayed against him to maintain the status quo. Once again, thanks for listening. And this is Cliff McWilliams with Corporatist Nation, because right now, that's what we got.